Good morning, everybody. We are from the Steel Valley School District, which is a very small school district right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Just to introduce you so you know who you're talking to, I'm Lori Mihalik. I'm a kindergarten teacher. This is Nikki Strom. She is our building reading specialist. Brandy Chalice is our counselor, and Becky O'Shell is a fourth grade science teacher. To tell you a little bit about our school, Park Elementary, we service grades K through 4. Our school district is, like I said, a small one. Our whole district is a 3-mile radius. So it is a very small walking school district. There's no busing that goes on. We have 2 elementary schools, Park being one of them, and our building services the Munn Hall and West Homestead communities. Our building houses 37 amazing students that we get to work with every single day, and all students in our school receive free lunch and free breakfast under CEP. We are also a Title I building. Now, what we're going to do for you today is we're going to break our program down into 2 parts. We're going to talk about our Ppac Committee, which is a committee of students who are making a lot of decisions and guiding a lot of the activities that we're doing for school-wide in our school. And we're also going to talk a lot about our booster sessions, which we've really just started. The last 2 years we've been using them, and it's made a huge impact with the kids. They're so much fun, but they're also reinforcing all of the core beliefs that come with school-wide that really drive our program. So we're going to be looking for some volunteers in a little bit. So if you're looking to do something silly or fun, we're going to find you. But we're going to pass the mic right now over to Nikki, and she's going to get started for you.
Good morning, everybody. Do you want to hold this? So our booster session started, like Lori said, about 2 years ago when we found that a lot of our expectations weren't being followed or were being forgotten or just certain areas were being focused on. So this is kind of like, this is our matrix. And can you hand me that book, please? And all of our staff members get one of these books. We developed this book with all of our expectations, our areas of focus, and everybody that enters the building gets one of these and is trained on this. So we are Park Power. So we have our matrix is prepared, accountable, respectful, and kind. And we kind of mimic that we just started our check-in and check-out this year. And we mimic that for our behavior chart, and it's been working really, really well because it's cohesive. So what we noticed was that at the beginning of the year, the new kids coming in needed to know the expectations. And then we noticed through our data that right after Christmas time, right in January, coming back, it was kind of like the start of a new school year, and they needed those expectations reiterated. So we started booster sessions the first couple weeks in September, and then we do them again in January. And then we said we always try to do one in May, but we all know how May is, and every day seems to be taken. So we don't end up doing one altogether, but we do try to amp up our incentives then. But we do see that it works in September at the beginning of the year, and then January again. So initially, we would get the whole staff and all of the students into the gym, and I would go over all the areas, and the areas are arrival, hallway, recess, bathroom, lunch, and dismissal. And I would stand up there in front of everybody with the microphone, and I would say, now, boys and girls, you know at arrival to be prepared, and then I'd go through each bulleted point. And then in the hallway, you know. Then after every area was talked about, I'd ask a question. So if it was kindergarten that had the first area, I would ask a question of what we just went over. And then for their reward, they could come up with their homeroom teacher. Their homeroom teacher picked a student from their homeroom to come up, and they did a Minute to Win It challenge. The first year we did that, it worked very well. Then we thought the Ppac students, which we will be talking about, our group of fourth graders that help us, they decided for us that they would like to be more involved in the boosters. So now we developed a video of the students and the staff, and you'll see it at the end of our presentation, showing these expectations. So the adults do the unwanted behavior, and the students are correcting that behavior. So now we still break the grade levels off into areas at the assembly, but now they watch clips. So instead of boring me standing up there saying, now boys and girls, blah, 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 now we click on it and they see the principal, the guidance counselor, the teachers, the custodian, I mean, everybody involved in, and they think it's funny because the adults are acting incorrectly, and then the kids are correcting them. And every student that was involved. I mean, we were a little bit nervous, like, don't be hesitant to correct us. Ugh. They were like, yeah, right, like, we're gonna correct you. You don't have to, there's no, like, we're gonna do this. So they really took off with it. And we were nervous at first to show everybody just to make sure they weren't just focusing on the negative, but watching the kids reiterate that positive. And they took to it. I mean, it was amazing. Then after each area was shown, then the homeroom teachers or the special area teachers, whoever wanted to be involved, picked a student out of that grade level and came up and did a minute to win it activity or challenge. And we have noticed with their participation and their involvement in the whole process, there has been a ton more buy-in from everybody, both staff and students, which is really nice to see. So I'm going to turn the mic back over to Lori. We're going to talk about some of these challenges online. I did upload all of the challenges that we do. There's 14 of them for you. Excuse me. It has all the materials, all the directions, and we have used these in grades K through 4. So they were usable, they were adaptable, and out of all 14, I think only one we needed to just change a little bit, but it wasn't any major changes. And everything that we have here and all these challenges and the materials are very inexpensive. I mean, as you could see over on the table, we needed empty tissue boxes, and we know we have millions of them. Ping pong balls, water bottles, solo cups, balloons. I mean, it's everything that you can buy in bulk, which is really nice because then you have year after year. A lot of it is able to be saved. So Lori's going to go over these challenges again online. I did upload all of the challenges with some descriptions, directions, and the materials for you.
One thing I did want to start with too, because I'm sure everyone out there is thinking, if you're only bringing one student up per class, don't you have the rest of them crying at their seats because they didn't get a turn for the activity? Well, like I said, I teach kindergarten. I have the criers. We all know who they are. What we've done is at the end of the assembly, the last challenge, the entire school does together. So whoever does not come up, it doesn't matter. Everyone gets an opportunity, and we're going to go over the whole school challenges as well. So everyone gets to participate. One of the other things that I think is absolutely wonderful about the boosters that we've done in these activities is just seeing the kids supporting each other, supporting their class, cheering for a positive reason. And their reward is always because they knew the material of the expectations of the behaviors that we want to see them exhibit. So it really comes full circle that everything that's going on in that gym, and it does get noisy and it does get a little bit wild at times, but when they know that you're going to be transitioning to the next video, it's amazing how quickly they'll calm down. But like I said, we're going to go over these, and we'll start with the Dizzy Mummy is the first one. Pretty self-explanatory. You've probably seen this at every Halloween party for the last 10 years. However, when the teachers are the ones in the front and they're wrapping the children in the toilet paper, the kids just love to see it. So it's a simple one. The only material you're going to need is that roll of toilet paper, and then we wait until the end to see who is filled from head to toe with the most. Now, this next one, Cookie Face, was one of our entire school challenges. Notice that we used Oreos because we had to make sure we had all of our allergy kids covered. We did think of that. At the very end of the assembly, every single person, including our principal, had an Oreo cookie, and they all started on their foreheads. And when the timer started, they had to try to get that into their mouth without using their hands. And of course, they got to enjoy their cookies when they were done. Probably the most expensive part of the entire assembly was just buying the cookies for the whole school. But to get all of the kids to participate and all of the adults. I noticed some of my kids, they weren't even doing it because they just wanted to watch the grown-ups do these things. So, but that's great, we'll take it, but that's Cookie Face. Now, noodling around, we did have tables set up in the front of the gym, just like you can see this one over here. And what we did here, you can see our gym teacher, Mr. J, and his buddy that came up with him. They had a long spaghetti noodle in their mouth. And then we actually had different pieces of pasta on the table, and they had to thread them without using their hands. Now, Stick the Landing was another full school activity, and I'm sure you're looking at it and you already know because it's the nightmare from the cafeteria. But they finally are allowed to flip their bottles. So we got the small water bottles, everyone got one, and we had them say, how many times can you land it in a minute? And then, of course, the kids got to drink their water and toss them on the way out. This is one of the ones we're going to be talking about today. It's called the Angry Dog, and we have a ruler and 2 packs of Tic Tacs that are attached to the ends. What they have to do is keep their hands behind their back. The only thing that you are allowed to use is your head and your neck. You're not allowed to bend over, and it's the first person that can get all of the Tic Tacs out of the 2 containers without bending over. It's hysterical. It makes a little bit of a mess, but it's a good one. It's a good one. Did you want to take over?
This next one is rapid fire, and we are going to do this one as well. You stack up 6 cups, 3 on the bottom, then 2, then 1, and using rubber bands, you flick them, and in a minute you need to try to get your pyramid of cups down. We do recommend, if you notice, and we're going to do it in front of you, facing the other way because you don't want rubber bands flying to the kids' faces because they do fly pretty far. So this is the only one, but we have 3 tables set up so they're able to look at the other tables.
Then homeroom teacher was represented. So every homeroom teacher had their own chance to go up there. So if you have 6 first grades, you're going to need 6 tables in the front. You don't want to just pick a few. You want every class to be represented.
Then this next one is Mega Bubble. You get a hula hoop, and the teacher blows the bubble, and then the student has to continue to blow that bubble into the hula hoop, and you have to count how many you can get in a minute. Then we have Bucket Head. This one was pretty funny to me because the kids did not care. They got like hit in the nose, hit in the forehead, but they're ping pong balls, and you obviously start with a bucket of full ping pong balls. They hold an empty bucket on their head, and you have to bounce it on the table to get it into the bucket. At the end of a minute, the person with the most ping pong balls in the bucket wins. But like I said, they were like, it wasn't hard, nobody got hurt, but it was funny because they were just standing there taking it instead of trying to, then they figured out, oh, if I bend over, if I kind of try to catch it, I won't get hit in the face or the forehead anymore. And then this is at the end of our assembly with our school pride. And you could just see in their faces their excitement. Their hands are all up. They were very excited at the end of the assembly because they all get to do something at the end. So we are going to show you a couple of these. Some were already in pictures, and then some are on that list but are not pictured. So we're going to start with, we'll start with Angry Dog since we'll give you a little bit of an idea over here. So is there anybody willing, you had your hand up first, thank you. Anybody else willing to come up? I promise the rollers are clean, fresh out of the wrapper, come on up. The students did not use them, I promise you. They did not use them for the PSSAs or anything like that, so. Yes. All right, so here's the deal. Oh, will you grab my phone for the minute? All right, so you are going to open your Tic Tacs.
Okay.
And I already pre-opened them, so they should be good. You are going to put that roller in your mouth. When we say go, you need to get all of the Tic Tacs out of the containers without bending at the waist, and you can only use your head and neck. Did you have? Oh, thank you.
Now remember, all of your students are out there cheering your name. They want you to be the winner, so you have to do your best to make it happen.
So we need to hear you. They want to hear cheering. They want excitement. They want to do this in a minute. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, come on. Are you ready? You sure you're ready? All right. Ready, set, go. You're doing great. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. There's still some in there. Get them out. Don't bend at the waist. Don't bend at the waist. Is he out? Is he out? He's out. Good job. And since we appreciate that you did this, we have a nice little gift. I took it at the end.
I was rolling, sorry.
That's okay. They're going in the garbage. We appreciate that. And the kids always love, we make sure, I start counting down at 10 seconds, and they get so excited, they're listening for that 10, especially when it starts getting like, they're not done yet, and they love, the whole school will start counting down. All right, we need 2 more volunteers. Oh, what's the game? I knew it. I should have never said it the first time. You live and you learn. The second game, you're going to have to shake it. Come on up. Come on up. Thank you. Thank you.
How many are we putting in?
6. All right. So you might want to go back over there too. But what you're going to do. Whoop.
I can put him in.
All right. So you are getting a tissue box, and the directions tell you to put rubber bands and attach it. It was not working for me. I don't know if I just didn't know the directions. So I cut 2 slits in the bottom of the box. And then just so you know, we have kid belts. So we're going to ask you to hold them on your sides. But then the belt fits through nicely, and it doesn't, my rubber bands were breaking, they were flying everywhere. So the directions do tell you to use rubber bands. You do not, if you can slit them and then slip that right through. So you are gonna hold this on your backside. And you have 6 ping pong balls in there. You have to shake out the 6 ping pong balls without anything but your movement in 1 minute.
And you must face this way.
Oh yes. Oh yes. We need to see the ping pong balls coming out of the box. Are you ladies ready? Are you ready? Are we ready? All right, ladies, ready, set, go. Shake it. Keep shaking. You have 46 seconds. Keep shaking. Keep going. Shake them out. That's not working. You still have 24 seconds left. This minute is forever. No. All right, I need your help. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, ladies. That one is fun, and if you can't laugh at that one, I don't know. I got nothing for you. But everyone enjoys that one. And at first, they think it's pretty easy because that opening does look pretty open. But then when you start doing it, and it's pretty funny for them. All right, we need 2 more. This isn't as bad. All the shaking, I think, is done. You can come on up. Come on, one of you 2, please. Yep. All right, we're going to need you on this side of the table. And this one is called Balloon Blow. And what you're going to do, each of you have 15 solo cups. And you're going to take it to the edge of your table. And we're going to flip them over. You could start one too. So you need to start your cup at the edge of the table. You need to blow up your balloon and use the air in your balloon to get it to fall off the table. You need to be the first one to get all 15 cups off individually. Don't think that you could just slide that whole thing over. Now you can do this either all 15 right next to each other, or you could do it this way. This one was a little more manageable for the students to do, and there wasn't like cups everywhere, starting to fly everywhere. So this one was a little bit more manageable to do it this way. So 15 cups in the minute, just using the air out of that balloon. And you could blow it up as many times, and I just took it out of the package just so you're aware. All right, are we ready? Ladies, you ready? Are we ready? Yes. All right. Ready, set, go. No passing out, please.
If you wanted to opt for bigger balloons, you could do that as well. We just figured the small ones were better for the kids.
And we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. And then you can count how many each got. And when you have a student and a teacher together, it is just so enjoyable to watch because they're trying so hard to beat their teacher, but they can't keep their eyes off of them either. So they're in all directions, and they can definitely multitask. They tell you in the classroom they can't. Oh, they surely can, because they are doing everything they can to win, and they'll try to distract them, or they'll accidentally hit into them, just to distract the teacher. So it is enjoyable to watch. Thank you so much, ladies. All right, 2 more. We only have 2 more activities, I swear. All right, come on up. 1 more. Come on up. You're going to go in front of the table this time because this is the rapid fire. This is where you have the rubber bands. So we're going to give you a pile of rubber bands. And we're going to give you a pile of rubber bands.
I know. You can either stand or kneel, whatever you're comfortable with. The kids obviously didn't, but we had some teachers that were up and some that were down.
So you have 1 minute to get your pyramid of cups totally off of the table, using your rubber bands, obviously. Are you ready? Yep. Are you ready? Yep. Ready, set, go. Whoa. Woo! We're getting there. I don't know. This one's going to be hard. Woo! And we have a winner. Good job. Thank you. And you can keep going. You can restack and see how many they can get down if it does go quickly, if you're doing it with older students. So again, these are very easily adaptable to kindergarten students all the way up. I mean, they're very, very easy to do. And we have 1 more, right? Yep, we have 1 more. 1 more. Come on up. This one's not so bad. Come on up. Thank you. All right, you can come behind the table. And this event is called Stick the Landing. And I'm telling you, the kids, this is one that we do as a whole group. Sorry. We found that the little water bottles that you can get like 80 bottles in a whole case, they work. We weren't sure because they were so little. They work, and the kids had a lot of fun with them. And then again, they just went with them. So you have your water bottles. You kind of know in a minute you have to see how many times you could stick the landing. Are you ladies ready? Is everybody else ready? Come on, this is the last event. Are you ready? All right, that's what I like to hear. All right, ready, set, go. Come on, help them out. Keep going, keep going. So close. Woo! Woo! They're each at one. How many can they go? Woo! 2 and 2. 3. 4. 5. And we're at 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job, nice job. Please get your... Oh, let's cancel that. All right, so thank you so much for volunteering. Those were some examples of the challenges that we do. Again, we have tried them with the older grades, the younger grades. At this point, we are able to adapt them easily. They said if you only do 4 cups or 5 cups stacking for kindergartners, they are really easy to adapt to the grade levels. The only other one that I want to mention that's a whole group, and if you download the materials, I put a star next to the ones that we've used as a whole group. We did Defying Gravity. And it's so easy. All you do is blow up balloons, one for each homeroom. They each get 1 balloon, and they have to keep it up in the air, only using their hands. And for little kids, this is ideal because they have to stay crisscross applesauce. They cannot be up on their knees or anything like that. And that in itself was a challenge for them. So it was very fun to see. And they were not allowed to speak. So that was also a challenge. They're like, wait a minute, you want me to sit, crisscross applesauce, and not open my mouth, and hit a balloon? Like, that to them was like, whoa. So, and then the teachers were the judges, and they had to be honest. And if a student spoke, they were out. If they moved off of their bottoms, their group was out, their homeroom was out. Or if the balloon landed, they were out. So that was another one that was very easy, and they were all involved. So thank you again to our volunteers. We appreciate it. I'm going to turn it over to Becky, who is going to talk about our Ppac students.
Okay. Hi, my name's Becky. I am a 4th grade science and social studies teacher. And as Lori already told you, we are a K-4 building, so 4th grade is the oldest grade in the building. We were trying to incorporate more student voice into our programs, which is how we kind of came up with all of these fun activities. We were doing a lot of the work, and we thought, how can we get kids involved? And we thought, elementary school, it's kind of young. The kids are too young. We did learn through this process that they're not too young. They have great ideas. They love being a part of the decision-making, and they're really excited to help us out with this. So I worked along with the principal, and we decided, how could we come up with a student council for 4th graders? What could we do to get them involved? After school doesn't really work for us because we aren't a busing district. So we have crossing guards and things that leave 15 minutes after dismissal. So we were trying to find a way to incorporate it into the school day that didn't interfere with them missing class, And this is what we came up with. We call it Ppac. It stands for Park Elementary Principal Advisory Council, and it's our version of a student council. What it is anyone in 4th grade is allowed to fill out an application. I do the application process as part of my social studies class in the first week or 2 of school. Everyone does not have to fill one out. If someone isn't interested, I give an alternate assignment. It's usually like an IXL, something like that they should be able to do, but I'm not gonna grade for kids who aren't doing the assignment. So anyone who wants to gets the application. It's online, the application that we use. You can use ours or make any changes you want. That's a brief picture of it. But what they have to do is write the reason they want to be a member of Ppac. They have to write some things that they have done at school or outside of school that would make them a good candidate or a good member of Ppac. They have to write what they think Ppac could do to make Park a better place. And they have to come up with 3 teachers that they think could give them a reference. Actually, I shouldn't say teachers because it's any adult in the building. It could be Mrs. Chalice, the guidance counselor, a teacher. It could be a paraprofessional. It could be the lunch monitor, the gym teacher, whoever they think. And they have to choose 3 people, and they get to pick who they are. So they fill out the application. It's only done at school. We don't want parents helping them out. We don't want parents filling out the application for the kids. So it's done during social studies class. They give me the names of the 3 teachers or 3 adults in the building that they want to give them a recommendation. I then give the recommendation form to the teacher or staff member that is going to fill it out for them. The first year we did it, I was a little surprised. Teachers were brutally honest. I was reading like, wow, because the kids are picking them, but you do need teachers to be honest because not everyone's going to be picked for the committee. So we did, the first year, like I said, I was like, ooh, people are a little brutal with this. You know, the kid picked them and they're not giving them the best recommendation. But you do need teachers to be honest with you when you're picking the kids for this committee. So teachers fill it out. I usually give them about a week to fill them out. They put them back in my mailbox. I put their recommendations along with their applications. I put them together. And then Mrs. Chalice, the guidance counselor, myself, and Dr. Shaughnessy, our principal, the 3 of us kind of work together and we select the members who are going to be on Ppac. And then once the Ppac committee is formed, they have a lot of input in the things that we're going to do that school year. They're coming up with the ideas for our incentives. Like they came up this year with do a slice of pizza for an incentive. They're coming up with, can we make the videos to show? They're going into kindergarten classrooms and teaching them about our matrix. So they are coming up with ideas and they do have a voice. They've come up with great ideas. I honestly thought when we first came up with it, 3rd and 4th grade, are they going to want like extra recess every day? You know, are they going to be able to come up with it? But because they're going through it, they really like it. And kids in the building, everyone wants to be on Ppac now. Everyone knows because they're going into the classrooms, they're doing things. All of the younger grades, like 3rd graders saying, I can't wait to be on Ppac. Are we going to get to do Ppac next year? It's a big deal to the kids. So Mrs. Chalice is actually part of the meeting with Ppac, so she's going to talk to you more about what Ppac does.
Good morning. So actually, the kids actually came up with that fancy nickname that or the acronym Ppac. Like they talk about Ppac. Like Miss Becky said, they're excited about coming to Ppac. We actually, when they line up, we have it during lunch. We have 2 teams throughout the school year. So there's approximately 6 kids per team. So the first team we have usually runs from September to December, and then the second team occurs January through May. So bi-weekly, they come to the counselor's room, like my room, and we sit there and they have lunch with us, the principal and I. Usually they beat us to the table, and if God forbid, if we're not there before they are, we really get a lot of heat for that. So we have to make sure that we're on time, if not 5 minutes earlier, because they will let us know if we happen to be a minute or 2 late. And we also, when they go to line up for lunch, because we were worried about the time, they are the first students to get in the lunch line. The lunch ladies know everyone's very prepared. No one cares. Like I said, they come down to our room. We actually make it very official. So the initial meeting, we actually use the same agenda that the principal uses for all the teachers' meeting. And that very first meeting, we also go over the different parts of the agenda, and they kind of explain the different roles and responsibilities. So they're kind of getting the experience of what a teacher goes through during their meetings, and they love it They feel empowered. They can't wait to give suggestions. They can't wait to volunteer for a role. So like we will actually, during the first meeting, we also picked like who wants to be the facilitator, who wants to be the timekeeper, and who wants to be the note taker. And you can see the initials of how, things were going and who picked what. Then halfway through that time frame, we switched their roles. They take it very seriously. Like the timekeeper is constantly looking at that clock to make sure we're following the time. We also define the group norms during there and set the rules, and we also talk about what the mission statement is. So they know that Ppac is to work together to make Park a better place. Like she said, in the meetings, the kids have been very empowering when it comes to picking the rewards. One we just had that they had chosen was cupcake decorating. I think Lori said at the beginning, we have 307 students. We had 100 kids participate in that. And that was just last week. It was amazing. Not something that we would have picked ourselves, I don't think. Like we've done cookie decorating in the past, but this cupcake was, they really enjoyed it, as well as the pizza party. That was another one. Some of the other things they're very excited about doing is going in, like Becky said, going into the kindergarten classrooms and teaching the school-wide expectations. Now this was new, and we were a little bit worried for us because Lori's the kindergarten teacher. And I was worried that it was going to end up being more me than them, and that was not the case. So they met with me briefly earlier in the morning, about 7:30 when they come in, or between 7:30 and 8. We went over what our agenda was, what we were going to teach, and they actually divvied up the responsibilities themselves. It was amazing. We went to the classroom. Again, I thought I was going to be the one mostly teaching. Again, not the case. They took power, they took charge. And they were very good at picking on students to answer questions. Like we pretty much just sat in the background. It was very amazing.
It was amazing how the fourth graders commanded the attention of my crazy kindergarten kids, because they were just hanging on their every word. They see them every day. They're the big kids in the building. It was such a valuable lesson for them. And I really think, just as Becky said before, it makes them want to be a part of that committee as they get older, because they saw these kids as role models.
Their next item on their agenda is they're going to visit each third grade classroom and go over what Ppac is. They're going to go over the agenda, what's expected, the application process, and as well, fourth graders are also the crossing guard, so they're going to talk to the third grade about what it means to be a crossing guard. They cannot wait to meet. They will ask us weekly, is it Ppac this week? Is it Ppac this week? If they see us in a hall. And we try very, very hard to make a conscious effort to make sure that we do not cancel Ppac, because God forbid we do. They are so disappointed. During the other meetings, like I talked a lot about the initial meeting. Now, the other meetings that occur bi-weekly, we always review the group norms to make sure they know, again, what the rules are, to make sure they know what the expectations are. We review the notes from the previous meeting and discuss any new agenda items. Again, they set the agenda items for us. We just bring the agenda to them. Let's see. Oh, another thing that they do is they choose items for our school store. Once a month, our kids get to cash in their power cards, and they get to shop at our school store. The Ppac kids are ones that go through the catalog, pick the items that they think that the other students in the building may like. They also go around to other classrooms and get suggestions from the different grade levels. And they reach out for for other grade levels for ideas. And the video, like Nikki mentioned earlier, was another huge event that was totally their idea, totally from their voice of what they wanted to make it a better booster session. And again, the kids hung on to every word that was on that video. It was amazing. I'm blown away at how successful this has become, and this is actually our second year. Yeah. And as we were sitting in a session yesterday, we were we came up with different ways that we can actually improve it to make it even better. And I think Lori said earlier too, you didn't think these fourth graders would be able to do something like this, and they are, and they're successful. Does anyone have any questions or anything about the actual process? Yes, so they do know, the question was, do we change the Ppac team the second half of the year. We actually do. However, at the beginning of the school year, when we initially pick the teams, you want to talk? They already know. Like we tell them that the first half, these students are going to be the first half, and the following students are going to be the second half. Those students that participate in the second half they're just waiting, chomping at the bit to get started.
We actually, the first year, didn't change kids. But because we didn't know that it was going to take off the way it did, and we had the same group of kids, and then there were so many other kids that wanted to do it that didn't get to participate because it was limited, that this year we decided, we're going to do 2 groups because we want to get more kids involved, because it is something that's really fun. And if 6 kids get to do it, you want to get as many kids involved. And we've actually talked about trying to do it by 9 weeks to get 4 different groups because so many kids want to do it. But we didn't know, we're leery to try that because we don't know if 9 weeks is enough time for them to get to do things. So we're still kind of tweaking that. But we found this year it was definitely better switching groups. But they knew at the beginning of the year there was 1 application process. Those 12 students were picked at the beginning of the year, and they knew who they were at the beginning of the year.
Now, at the end of their session, we also have a big party for them. So we'll order pizza, have some different snacks or whatever for them to make it a celebration that they completed their first session of Ppac. So they look forward to that as well. Yeah, we invite the teachers, and they think that is the biggest to do when the teachers come down too. Is there any other questions?
Can you speak to the time in creating videos or your expertise with technology? Many years ago at our school, they made a video and there was high technology, and now that the players have changed, we're not as techy, but I like the idea of different. Could you speak to how you did it?
Sure. So she asked how we developed our movie and how much time it took. We took it all on the iPad. So we just took snippets and then I put it into an iMovie. So it really didn't take too much time. We tried to, I think we did it just a couple minutes each day. It did not take long. It took 3 days.
In my experience, the kids know more than you do.
Yeah.
It was their idea to do it, and they were empowered, and they did it. All that Nikki had to do was put it together. They did the
Well, that's
snippets.
how I see it,
But
but
they
the one
did-
in the past was a little bit music and.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
too much, no.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to show you, and then we'll take more questions. I just want to show you, this is a trailer to the movie because we wanted to make sure we had enough time to get through everything. So this is the trailer. I have contact information on the very last slide. If you would like me to send you any information on how we did it, I'd be happy to do that. But we can, if I can use this technology, right? So again, that was just a brief trailer, but what we did was we took each area from our matrix and we had the adults doing the inappropriate behavior and the kids doing the appropriate behavior. And then at the end of each segment, there was a student, those girls at the end, they read through the expectations. They said, just remember, at dismissal, you need to, and then they went through the matrix and they read it. And the kids, again, the kids involved in it took off with it. They're the ones that said, you might want to take a coat off or you might want to hit book bags, because we always see kids trying to not go through things, but they're in the hallway and they're going to lunch and they want to touch things. And so they gave us ideas that we weren't even thinking of what we need to be aware of in the hallways, and in the bathroom was pretty funny because the girls were like, ew, she didn't wash her hands. And we're like, well, she really didn't go. But like they were like still disgusted by it, you know? Like it was but so they really took to it, and they did not hesitate to correct the behavior, it took maybe a couple shots for them to, when the principal came running down the hall and jumped, they were not expecting that, so they giggled, and we're like, try to stay serious, try to look at them like you're doing wrong. And that took a little bit of time, but honestly, it took 3 days altogether to get everything together, but that wasn't full days. That was right before lunch, right after lunch. They even, you could tell it was snowing at the moment that we did it, but they're willing to give up recess. Yeah, they were like, we don't need to go to recess, we'll do this instead. So it did not take much time at all.
And even after we actually showed the booster session and we were walking through the hallways, because most of this, believe everyone from the school-wide team did participate, the adults. When we'd walk through the hallways, the kids would point out, ooh, you didn't wash your hands. Like they could not wait to still bring up the bad things that you did. And they were able to correct you as well. So it was kind of cool. Like they really enjoyed it.
I wanted to add too, the one thing that was amazing to me with the Ppac students, they requested, they always ask at their meetings how to improve the building, what things that they want to see. And the biggest thing that they wanted to see was a water bottle refillable fountain outside of our gym. And honestly, we have an old school building, and we had one of those old ceramic warm water water fountains right outside of our gym. And they're like, we don't like the water. We all use water bottles anyway. Can we do this? Now we have it because of the student voice. So, to me, that was something that was reasonable. They were able to support it themselves. They had no adult, we supported it obviously, but we had no voice in that request, and it's there and used often. So they are really making a difference in the building. Yes.
So in my situation, we're looking at doing, because we have K through 6, so we're looking at doing something like a 5 and 6 student government. And so my question is when you chose how many kids, like what was magic about the number 6? Because what we would like to do is have kind of like a multi-grade, like do a sixth grade and a 5th grade, or 5th and 6th grade together. What was your opinion of 6, and what would you think about having more kids, like maybe a 9?
We chose 6.
I'm just going to repeat the question. She's asking how we chose just 6 students for each part of the school year for our Ppac.
So this year we actually only have 40 4th graders. So 12 out of 40 wasn't bad. That's a quarter of the grade is able to participate. But we didn't want to get too big because we were running it with the agenda. We were trying to make it official. The more kids you add, we were worried about it getting off task, worrying about everyone having a job, everyone being a participant in it. And if it got too big with kids, certain kids kind of taking over. So we went with 6 for those reasons. And the space that they were eating in isn't that big, going any bigger. I don't think that there would be a problem with that, or maybe rotate yours by 9 weeks maybe as a suggestion, and do 9 weeks of 5th graders, then have 6th graders do something or something like that. But I think it's all in how you are able to manage what you have. Our space kind of constrains us and limits us.
Like Becky said, the only thing I would be very cautious of is the bigger the group, the less voice some kids have. Like we found that the size, like having 6 kids, that they are pretty much all have equal power. Now you'll still have those kids that, will be more of a natural leader, but they still all have an opportunity to say things and to voice their opinion.
When we group them into the 2 groups, we also do place them strategically. We don't try to put all the strong personalities in one group. We try to divvy that up a little bit. So when we put them in the 2 groups at the beginning of the year, we're strategically placing them in the group that they're in. Is our school near Columbia? No, we're near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're actually just about 10 to 12 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh. Steel Valley School District.
Munhall, Pennsylvania. Munhall, Pennsylvania. Munhall.
Munhall, Pennsylvania, the Steel Valley School District, and the name of the school is Park Elementary School.
So your resources, like your application for the kids and stuff is on that website?
It's all on the patent website.
On the net? I couldn't find it on the other one, the .org one for the whole.
Yeah, it should be under the. It's not under
If
the.
you want to take our, we can grab your email or we can give you our email.
We
just
actually,
so-
here's our contact information.
I have it, Becky O'Shell. I'm the one who has the application. If you want to email me for it, I have one copy. I'd offer it, but I only have one.
So your two semesters, your fall and your spring semester teams, did each team make a video? So did your spring team make a new video too? Give them that opportunity?
So she.
Because you talked about reinforcing back in January again?
Yes, so she asked if we had 2 videos from both Ppac teams. We do not have a second video as of yet. We would like to do that within the next, obviously, 3 weeks for next year, for the September one. So the first Ppac team will do it for the January booster, and then we were hoping the second semester would do it for the beginning.
So each Ppac team sets their own agenda as well. So that first team in the fall actually wanted to do the video. This second team, they're the ones that chose to go into the kindergarten class. I mean, they chose to go into the kindergarten classrooms and third grade classrooms. Any other questions?
Where do you get the money to do these things? You guys have fundraisers? Do you have?
That is big.
So she's asking about fundraising opportunities. We are a uniform school, so we have dress down days that the staff donates $5 to wear jeans, and then the students donate a power card to wear jeans to dress down. And we found that to be pretty, and we do it monthly. Our principal allowed us to do it once a month, so we do get a lot from that.
We also do that schoolstore.com. And it's basically all you have to do. Like, you send out an envelope, and they pretty much do everything for you. And then the school gets money back depending on how many envelopes the parents filled out. It's kind of like those email things. And we use that predominantly for the school store. Most other rewards we are able to cover from the cost of the jeans.
Because we're K through 8th school, and I teach 4th grade, would you do this then with 8th and adapt it, or would you do 6th for all the way up?
She said she's a K to 8 building, and she's a 4th grade teacher, and she wanted to know if she would do it with 8th grade. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it with 4th graders and letting them work with the younger kids too. I don't think it has to be the oldest grade in your building, and I think this, to me, 6, 7, and 8 have a student council. This is more for the elementary kids. It's an introduction to a student council. It's giving them a voice. And there's nothing wrong with 4th graders showing 8th graders things either. You know, 8th graders aren't going to want to do the funny stuff that the 4th graders do. They're just not. They're not going to want to come up and shake it like some of us didn't want to do. I was thankful people volunteered for that, by the way. But I think I would still do it with 4th grade, maybe 5th if you wanted to go a little older. But I think that it's still good. I think kindergartners look up to 4th graders, and 4th grade's my favorite grade. I just think they're the perfect age of kids. So I think they're really into that stuff. They want to have a voice, and they want to be a part of things.
I have something to add to that, just from coming to these different conferences. I work in a building where we are partial hospitalization and emotional support settings in one building, middle school and high school. And we actually started a student council. And you would be surprised how many kids would love to get up and shake it. And we have an actual election. And the teachers are always nervous because, you know, they're going to pick the clown. And honestly, it rings true. We wait about a month. And the kids are very serious about who they're selecting to represent their class. They want the kids who are making the better choices, you know.
Yeah.
So it does kind of play out they want to be heard.
They do, they want empowered.
So this can work in any class situation.
I'm glad you said that because we presented at another patent and it's, people don't realize, we didn't realize when we did it. I was leery. I was like, oh boy, what are they gonna do? Yeah, but they do. Kids are always surprising us.
Flip that leadership from the negative.
Very quickly.
I was gonna, to add to it too, I work in a high school and I took lots of your minute to win it ideas down because this year we did a Hunger Games, and great fundraiser, quarter to put somebody's name in, 50 cents to take your name out.
I like that.
So, and it was open across the board through our school. So if your name was put in 5 times and taken out 3 times, your name was still in the bowl twice. Teachers and students did it. And then we did an assembly, and we're 8 through 12 in our building. And one person from each grade level and teacher was picked to do the minute to win it game. And it was the best assembly we've had ever.
It is too, yeah.
Our kids absolutely loved it. So definitely if you are a higher level, they will shake, we did the shake it thing. And they like the cookie thing. I mean, we have teachers eating cookies off the floor to get it. And they thought it was great and they got points. And whoever got the teacher that got the most points got to leave early one day. And then the grades that got the most points got some other reward. So lots of fun that way too. So.
I had an idea for your Mint to Win It too. Our school has been doing the Mint to Win It since 2011, but our gifted program does it as a fundraiser. So if that's an option for anybody, we do high school teachers versus elementary school teachers. It's an after-school thing, like in the evening. It's a big fundraiser. They serve like pizza. You can buy a ticket for food at the beginning, and then they go over and they do it as a big school versus school thing. So they use it more as a fundraising idea than a rewards.
Every second Wednesday of the month, we have our PBIS assembly, and I happen to lead it for my building. One point I wanted to, we did the tissue box stuff too. We do a lot of minute to win it, and we try to theme it by the month. So in March we did the Shamrock Shake and things like that.
Oh,
But
that's cute.
my question or my concern is that with admin being so consistent about PSAs and things, sorry, brain fart. They have shortened our assemblies to only half an hour, and it starts 15 minutes into the school day, so it's really hard for even our K-4 students to get to the cafeteria or to the gym. So I don't know if you guys have any suggestions how long yours is and how I could kind of convince them that that type of community is just as important as the test scores.
Yeah. So her question was time frame for the assembly. So the day of the assembly, our administrator said to me, can you cut it to like 20 minutes to 30 minutes because we're going to do the perfect attendance assembly with it. And I just kind of walked away because I was like, no, I mean, you can't just be like, no, but I was like, I'll see what I can do. You can, now that if you do the videos, you can have the videos shown in the classrooms and then bring them to the assembly. It only took, I think, about 45 minutes, but I'm also long-winded, so I can, I don't need to speak as much. So you could probably do it within a 30-minute, but you would have to have, we had everything on the stage prepared to kind of like take off the table and throw back onto the table.
One other thing that you might be able to do. I know you said you do it every month. There's always those months you have January with Martin Luther King, you're just coming back from break, maybe skip January, try to save your half hour, then in February, See if you can have 45 minutes so you get the extra time. Then March comes, you're going to be having days off for whether Easter's falling then. Try to skip those months that you already have the breaks in, not have your meeting, and then see if they'll let you stretch to 45 every other month. We found that it was just as effective. Every month is fantastic to have that time to be able to really refresh everyone on everything. But I don't think it's going to be a bad thing to take a break either in between and to rotate your months. And then you might be able to squeak that extra time out of it. Yes.
We did a special assembly after PSSAs this year. As a reward, it was an early dismissal day. It was a day of no instruction. They took their test, they ate lunch, and then we went to the gym. And we did more of a relay. We didn't do these, but more relays. We already had students selected ahead of time that were going to participate in the relays. And we got it all organized in about a half hour.
Right. I think the pre-planning before you get in the door to really send an email out to get the staff on board with what's going to happen. Another thing I wanted to mention too, we always have the teachers, we offer for the teachers to participate, and majority of the teachers will, but you're going to have a few in your building that just are not comfortable. So we made arrangements for the substitute for that person, whether the gym teacher wanted to double up or the art teacher wanted to come down. Have that stuff in place before you go into those things, because just sending that email out, that's going to save you a lot of time when you're actually in the assembly. And by not having those people come up, the kids were just as excited that it was another adult that they knew. But we don't want to make this a time where any of the adults would not feel comfortable. And then in that regard, that's going to come across to the kids that it's not important. So if they know going in, hey, I'm not going to be doing this today, but Mr. J, the gym teacher's coming, so we're all going to cheer for him. It makes a big difference. Yes. Yes.
I was just thinking some of our staff would have opted out 100% for the shake it. But
Yes.
the other ones they may have been more willing to do.
I didn't the first time, and they felt very pressured. I didn't tell them. I kind of just gave them an idea, and not on purpose. I just wasn't. I was like, "You're going to do this. If that's okay with you, are you willing?" And they didn't really ask at first, and then after that first assembly, they were like, "Okay, what am I doing?" But from both sessions that we've done this, both boosters, I don't think I've had any. I think we had one that just wasn't feeling well, wasn't feeling up to it that day, but wasn't like, "No, I won't do it." But like I said, we just substituted. But yeah, they were better off being told. But I kind of just told them, "This is what I have for you." I didn't give them the list of events and told them to pick, because they would all pick the not shake it ones. You know what I mean? So I was like, "Look, it's really easy. You're going to do this." And they were okay knowing beforehand what they were doing, but I didn't let them pick. I should say it that way. I didn't let them pick out of the 5 events.
But if you have a very shy second grade team, you're not putting shake it for second grade.
Right. You kind of know.
More strategically put.
It's usually 4th grade that gets those, because they're more willing. So since those materials are not online, I'm Nicole, so if you want to, you can take it down all of our email addresses, but I have all those materials that if you want me to send them to you, I'd be happy to. If you could just put in the subject like Hershey Forum or something to grab my attention, I'd appreciate that. Or, I don't know, something school-wide so that I know a little bit that it's from the forum. We have any other questions? Thank you so much, and again, thank you for participating with us. We really appreciate everybody's involvement in our session.